Talic did nothing good.
Hey, okay, this seems fine. We didn't really miss anything much, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start here. Like, they're pretty much tied at the prologue, or after prologue, getting to death and whatnot. Um,
I would prefer if it's not like.
what's up, Lost Legends? How's it going?
Gravity boots.
Muramasa is a garbage weapon. Iron Ball is a good, good, quote-unquote, decent one-use weapon, so
Ben is gonna jump over and do the item check.
not really that big of a deal.
Talic's not gonna do the item check.
Hold up, if I do this, I can actually do
And that evens him up a little bit.
this and make it even bigger.
Ben's got a slight lead by like a couple seconds.
Come on, chap, hype these guys up.
Not worth anything.
Yeah, hype these guys up, chat.
This is a crazy matchup with Talic going up against Ben. I mean, it's hard to pick who's gonna win.
I agree, it is hard to pick who's gonna win.
Players have invested so much of their time into Randomizer, not just SotN, but in specifically playing Randomizer runs. Ben streamed Randomizer for like every day for like several weeks, I want to say, and Talic has probably put in as many hours total.
Is the commentary at a good level for you guys? It's not like too loud, not too quiet.
A bunch of resists at this point. Nothing that useful as far as.
Because I'm going to be talking over it a lot, kind of like this. So hopefully, it's not like weird.
No crazy drops for either one of our.
A little quiet compared to your voice. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to go for, but I can turn it up actually a tiny bit.
They are neck and neck. Talic has actually pulled ahead a little bit.
So that way you guys can hear it when I'm not talking. But if I'm talking, I can still talk over them.
4 minutes in, and they're pretty much tied up right now.
It's fine. Cool.
They have no decent weapons, so they're gonna do the old Tetra Spirit punching.
Talic gained like a slight amount of time over Ben during that section somehow. I wasn't really paying attention to where Talic was getting his time from. Probably just like general better movement.
Bloody zombies are known to have a pretty high drop rate, so they might get something good out of here.
Yeah, they both get the same level. I don't think either of them have like enough money to buy the relic at library if it comes down to it. Because Talic got the heart refresh, he actually decides to backdash. Ben does the same thing, backdash through the Axe Knight. That's one of the things where if you get a heart max up or a life vessel, you can use the invincibility frames to backdash through the Axe Knight. Saves you a little bit of time because you wasted the time in picking it up anyways. So you might as well try and like maximize the time that you get from it. But pretty much, you know, neck and neck.
If there's anything worth getting there,
and both of them playing pretty much identically, actually. Small optimizations on Talic's part, I think.
Or going there.
Overall, just with like jump kicking and stuff like that. What is he doing? Oh.
Yeah, let's see what this relic is.
Wait, what?
It's Cubozoe.
Oh, it's
Cubozoe.
Okay. It looked like Soul.
Just that slight red, and it was like, oh my god, is this Bat?
I thought it was Soul of Bat.
I feel like a lot of people don't check the orb through the floor either. I think a lot of people just don't know.
They don't want it that early. They want to see a little bit more of a match, you know?
Yeah, I think most people just don't know to check it through the floor, honestly. Yeah, a lot of people go all the way down, even if it's like a not useful relic. I agree.
Because if they, if there's something useful in the shop as far as relics go and no relics anywhere else, that basically forces them.
Cubozoe is not a terrible choice to get early on. I don't necessarily agree with going out of your way in this particular situation to grab it, but your best case scenario is that you get a stopwatch before
they don't have to
doppelganger.
Sit around the library and farm the books all day, because that could be pretty painful and lose up.
You think Ben checked it and decided to take it? I think he was looking at it through the floor too, and then he was like, whatever. Cube can be nice early on, and I think that might be what he is going for, is like, oh, I can get money early, but, you know.
Like, checking every candle I could. Doesn't cost that.
Yeah, if the library candles are good, that's also good. Like, if it's like Mana Prism or Library Card in the library candle drop, then that's pretty good.
He's doing these really good spirit
Sub-weapons aren't amazing. They're good against Aquamodon, and that's like the only boss that like using sub-weapons is even worth. You can see Ben was using them against the Diplos, which was pretty cool, but honestly, like, it's not even that much faster than punching them.
I've been seeing a lot more people using that lately, including myself, actually, so... It's a nice little trick that I didn't know about.
You know what I should start doing in Rando is I should start jumping over the stone roses, like we do in glitchless speedruns. Because, you know, why not? Oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it can be really.
Wait, you can't break that open with sub-weapon? Maybe the hitbox is just finicky.
And you don't have like any range on your weapon.
Talic's up here with the doppelganger fight.
Isn't it faster to jump over the Diplos? Yes, it's faster to jump over the Diplos, but if you don't have a shield, you can't block the fireball. I meant jump over the stone roses, because you can jump over the stone roses in glitchless, but the Diplos you want to kill because they're not terribly slow to kill with your fists, especially if you time the attack properly, and on top of it, there's a chance they can give you an item drop, and if you don't have a shield, you can't block the fireball. So if they throw a fireball, you have to time a very particular punch. Opal. See, that opal pretty much means, like, Ben getting Cube of Zoe didn't matter, like, at all, for money farming purposes, so.
Alright, so Ben's doing Doppel right now. Oh, he took a wing smash.
Oh, took a wing smash.
Also, Ben completely fucks up the manip. See, what he's doing there is he didn't get the knockback on his strength. Okay, so real quick, I have to point this out.
Doesn't do a lot of damage.
Right now, there. So that non-knockback hit means that Ben's strength level is so low that he isn't doing enough damage to cause a knockdown on Doppel, which like never happens.
It is a nuisance to.
Yeah, it lets you do some double hit shenanigans like that, but in general, it's usually really bad.
Yeah, I feel
that requires like the lowest possible strength roll.
Doppelganger get the best
so Ben not only like made some mistakes in routing early on by picking up Zoe, but he also just got really unlucky with his strength roll. Something no one does that I just realized: one hallway with 3 axe armors. You can cast Spirit facing to the right as soon as you're out of the door and just backdash without stopping.
You were asking me for memorable randomizer moments.
You can do that.
I was afraid someone would mention that one.
But yeah, I think Rats... Talic was discussing it at one point, and I remember there's a reason why he doesn't do it. And I think what Rats is saying is correct, is that you need a shield in order to make it all the way through.
Relic there that Talic just checked.
Talic got Bat, right?
Was the other one.
Yeah, Talic got Bat.
I don't recall. I wasn't paying attention.
Can't imagine it. He has Bat, so it was Bat.
Oh, nice. Invisible Alucard.
Tooth of Vlad. So it wasn't even that important of a... Oh, they had cheap library cards in this relic. It was like, what, 200? Does he pick up the Flame Shield?
That's pretty nice.
So routing is not...
He's going to pick up the Ares and no Mystic Pendant.
200 each.
Yeah, and they have...
With that extra 3k, I would have picked up the Mystic Pendant personally, especially because he has...
So, pretty much...
Picks up the Harper instead, so he wants a weapon to get through the rest of the castle with. I would have picked up Mystic Pendant so that way I could get my mana back faster. Since this is early on in the seed and I have Bat, it could make or break skipping some save rooms. So that's just a little difference that me and Talic take in this scenario.
Game here, they're gonna be guessing what the other will be doing for their routing.
I mean, Talic has a pretty good lead right now. So
Ben is like also getting hit by a lot of like random shit.
He doesn't even know that. For all he
knows, doesn't know that, and he's probably assuming the worst.
Yeah, like he's definitely one person not count out someone like Ben against him, because Ben's a bit of a wild card. He will take a lot of gambles.
Yeah, getting shields in general in Randomizer is fucking rare. There's not that many shields in the game. Honestly, you're more likely to just find like useless use items. I feel like there's so many different like food items and shit like that that the drop pool is like disproportionately weighed towards food and other like items. Oh, another thing that I just realized Ben did is he did the suboptimal strat in the outer wall, where so what you do is you check to see if the outer wall relic, where the soul of wolf normally is, you check to see if that's a relic that allows you to get more items in the library. And if it is a relic that lets you get more items in the library, then you check it and
which is great. Like I said,
he doesn't pick up the attack potion. Wow. I would have picked up the attack potion, especially because I don't have a good weapon right now. Anyways, so you check to see if that relic is useful for the library at all, and if it is useful, you grab it. You go out of your way to open the elevator. If it's not useful, then what you do is you just go straight to the library and then backtrack up into the
Well, I mean, it wasn't no
the outer wall
Chris
later.
or anything like crazy for second castle, but I mean, they got decent gear.
Dude, you can keep your Christopher.
Wow, another Ring of Ares. So double Ring of Ares plus our Harper is like good enough to beat the game, I think. And I think that's what Talic uses for the rest of the run, if I'm not mistaken.
He's definitely checking the top.
The meta seems so library focused if you don't have bat before Clockroom, for sure. Yeah, the library is so huge. There's a reason why we don't go to Coliseum early anymore, because you miss out on so many potential relic checks and like so many potential items with the shop being in the library. So it just makes sense to go to the library as early as possible.
Yeah, it looks like
in almost every seed. There's very, very few exceptions.
And yeah, having Merman statue before they go to caverns is really helpful. They're not going to have to backtrack through caverns. Also, we saw Talic going for double Ring of Ares, so he is incredibly fragile as far as taking damage goes at this point.
Yeah, if Talic gets hit by any of these sword guys, he's in for a bad time.
His damage output is like very high, so don't have an issue there.
Yeah, he's fragile, but maybe not that fragile.
Want me in a seed, we had bat early by going Kalo Aurochs, keep before library. Yeah, in early bat seeds, I think that's a pretty good route, because then prioritizing keep, where you get 3 relic checks and keep, is pretty strong. And you also get multiple relic checks along the way with... This is Ben's first mistake here. He went all the way up to check that relic, but instead of moving forward and going to keep where he gets 3 relic checks, he's deciding to backtrack back to, I believe, Alchemy Lab and entrance checks. So
yeah, I think he's gonna head towards entrance and check
statistically that he's choosing the worst route.
Yeah, most players, depending on what they get, will either go Orlocks.
I went clock outer wall library.
The entrance check in the alchemy labs if they have some sort of movement.
It was a seed where the shop was nuts, and we got bad money.
They have bad, like everything's open.
Library card
like
duplicator,
3
nice.
Possible divergences, and this is just one of them they made now.
Going clockwise around the castle is actually quite strong.
I guess we'll have to see how this
because you can go from keep to
Talic, obviously making the statistical play, and he went for the 3 guaranteed relic checks up in.
You can go from keep to outer wall relatively easily through clock tower, and you still get the fire of bat check when you do it, especially if you have bat early. Pretty much this is only like reasonable if you have bat early. So.
Alright, there's another Vlad relic.
So basically, yeah, if you get bat as like your first or second relic, you just do clockwise movement around the castle, and then you go to caverns afterwards.
Because the keep is somewhere you gotta go anyway.
So.
And then the other relic is Echo.
Yeah, it's just not viable often. Exactly what you said, Neo.
And then Echo up in keep.
So I think right here is Jewel of Open, if I remember correctly. Yep, it was Jewel of Open.
Jewel of Open. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
So you may think that like this is big for Ben, but you can already see that Talic is right behind
well, I mean, he's
Ben.
In front now, so
he's very close.
But Ben, once he goes back to the outer wall, or once he goes back to Castle Keep, he has to make all 3 of those relic checks, and Talic has already done it. So movement-wise, Ben wasted a lot of time backtracking when Talic was basically constantly pushing forward, and he also had chance for additional item checks that Ben didn't have. Granted, those item checks didn't necessarily like pan out, but
Ben in the lead, although he doesn't have
the commentators are saying Ben is in the lead, but he's not. He's not actually in the lead, and that will come to fruition soon enough. If I was on commentary with them, I wouldn't have fought them on this saying that Ben is in the lead, but he's technically not because he still has like over a minute worth of relic checks he has to do in the outer wall. No, I keep saying Outer Wall. I mean Castle Keep.
Yeah, if you
And he
guys
hasn't
aren't
been to
over
Castle Keep
retweeting
yet, so
this
he can't
match,
teleport back to
get
Castle
on
Keep.
that stuff.
Whereas Talic, he
Go hit
has the
me up on
teleporter
Twitter
open,
and
so
find
he has to go back to
all
Castle Keep at
those
some point
clips on
anyways,
there, then
and
we
he
can talk
already
that
did the
stuff.
movement to
Right
go
now,
there, and he can
we
teleport
have a
back whenever he
second match
wants.
coming after this one.
That's why
It's gonna
going
be
to Castle
Ben.
Keep is so
We're in the
important, because opening up that
quarterfinals. This
teleporter
tournament has been
opens
ongoing
up a
since
lot of
September,
movement options, especially
and
if you need to
players have
go
really been putting
get
in the
Silver Ring.
hours.
That teleporter is good,
It's been
and then when
pretty
you need to go to the
amazing
second
while
castle, that
commentating
teleporter is
for
really
Ben.
good.
Yeah, the commentaries have made the entire tournament, just so you know.
Hell yeah! I mean, we've had
The tournament would be
Bobby,
nothing without the commentators.
DB. We
Yo,
had
I got a
you,
shout out.
Talic. I mean, there's plenty of amazing people. We've had Rats, Manly. Even most of the players have been doing commentary for other matches, so it's been fantastic to have community involvement, even on like beyond. The
I don't think anything
aspect.
important happens in Alchemy Lab. Cool. In that case, I'm actually just going to be right back while the stream keeps playing, because nothing really important happens.
Yes,
I just need to grab
we've
water.
seen a reversal as far as ground covered. Well, I shouldn't say that. Talic has technically covered more ground, although the amount of ground that Ben has covered has been more fruitful.
Yeah, it's definitely got
it's a quality
hell of a
versus
lot more
quantity.
item checks up on Talic, so I'm not sure what that equates to in, you know, late game with the items. I don't think a majority of them were that great.
None of them were that great. Yeah, if Ben hadn't done, you know, a few item checks, we're not talking about like a lot of stuff, but
I mean,
a few of them cost him some time.
We could still see some interesting plays, especially with library cards being so cheap.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the $200 library cards and an opal on the way to the library means, you know, they have all the routing options they could want. And
didn't miss anything. It was just a familiar card.
Far out parts of the map.
So I guess the one thing that Talic wanted for this match actually did come true.
So I'm guessing Ben checks the relic up here and then goes caverns.
Relics so far, a bunch of cards, a bunch of useless stuff for relics.
And I believe Talic does the same.
Yeah, aside from
Ben does these item checks. I don't know if Talic ends up checking those items or not.
I'd say these are pretty good relics, to be honest.
Well, yeah, these are pretty amazing relics to have this early. Definitely. Having Merman Jewel of Open is pretty crazy. Ben goes and picks up Skill of Wolf.
Oh.
And now he's
Coliseum? Probably to open the teleporter. I don't know if he checks the Coliseum relic or not.
Coliseum. I wonder if he's gonna open up the Allrox teleporter for sure. I doubt he's.
I agree that Allrox teleporter is the right play here.
Allrox boss fight for the relic check there, and then sword card.
Talic has to wait. This is huge, actually. This is like where Ben could save a lot of time. So essentially, Talic is on a faster. I'm trying to see where the time disparity came from. I don't think Talic was in the menus much longer than Ben was. Right?
That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember if Ben was in the menus longer or not.
Alright, so what is Coliseum Relic?
Because I'm trying to see if he's on a faster cycle or a slower cycle, technically. I think Talic was on a minute slower cycle. And Ben might have spent more time in the menus than Talic did.
There for Ben. And I think he's gonna head on up, maybe? I guess we'll see. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad call for him to delay this and wrap it in on the cleanup.
Okay, they both do the same thing. They check the
teleporter at least.
Coliseum relic and then open the teleporter right afterwards. I think this is the right play. Yep, you just leave.
He's got to open. He has to open up the teleporter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Talic goes for a mana refill, which is smart, so that way he can make it all the way through and back without having to refill. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree so far.
Cavern with library cards is great. It'll put you really close to a teleporter, saves you a lot of backtracking just to get to one. And then you can just wrap up for Silver Ring and
Talic
be heading on
did
to,
save at the entrance.
Second Castle.
Both our players.
He did the
have
save
an
split,
issue
yeah. He just didn't
to get
reset
to, the cavern
because that
while
relic
the
was
second was open.
Yeah, I think they were just delaying
Jewel of
Caverns
Open,
just to make
and they
sure
both
that,
need Jewel
like,
of
they
Open.
had a solid route.
So far, Talic
I
and
don't-
Ben took
yeah,
very similar
yeah,
routes, other than
exactly.
Ben
They made that
decided
detour
not to go
just so they could
through
Full Rock's teleporter and do the Museum relic check since it's there.
Clock Tower to get
Something like
to
that,
Outer Wall,
something
or
like
to get
that.
to Castle Keep. Sorry, I keep messing those up.
Um,
Yeah, Ben also saved. You always save there. You always do the
I'm not spending any more time.
Graboot's
save
still
split.
holding out on them.
It's just not on his tracker. Yeah. They
Yeah,
just forgot to
Preference is
click
one of
it,
those
that's all.
relics that when you have it, it is so much fun, but is like just too often locked behind the second castle, unfortunately.
So now they're both going
Chat, don't
into...
be fooled. Even though both players look like they're doing the exact same thing right now, Talic does have a little bit of a lead with going Castle Keep early and then
There
catching
you go.
up due to the fact
I
that
don't know about that.
due to the
Yeah,
fact
Mouse
that
is
Ben
wrong
doing item
when he's
checks.
talking about not knowing who has the lead.
I don't know if that is much of a lead, to be honest.
Because
It's not a
Ben...
huge lead, really. It isn't because Ben.
I agree, it's not a
waited for
huge
Ben
lead, but
because
it's over a
not
minute.
relics that he necessarily needed to grab right away.
Because Ben
It's
didn't check
also
any of
not
the
that
relics,
much of a
and he
lead
has no means to get
because
back to
it's like a slight routing lead, but that's
Keep.
it. Like there weren't
Yeah.
any relics worth the damn in there.
They're
So
disregarding. So
that
this is
Talic
one
has
thing
the
that they
teleport
really are
location
not
opened up.
understanding
I
when
mean,
they're
there was
saying...
there was
practice,
power
but
of
that's not a
mist, but-
huge.
Yeah, when they're
don't
arguing
have
over
mist
who's
there.
in the lead right now, the thing I think they're forgetting is
And
the
as far
fact
as
that
routing goes,
Talic has a
the
teleporter that will get him back to Castle Keep. That is huge. He doesn't have to travel to Castle Keep. Ben has to take time out of his route to somehow get to Castle Keep. And that's over a minute of movement.
So, Ben and Talic both be doing Succubus.
3 heart max ups. Before.
Oh lord, what a troll!
That's funny.
I mean, there was a neutron bomb there too, but they don't need that.
40 seconds behind when traversing the caverns.
Useless.
But the
I
keep
think the worst thing to
way
see
more
is
than 40
back-to-back
seconds to
carpet
check those relics
pushes.
plus the teleporter. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
not-
Like, movement alone is like a minute to get to keep from anywhere that's like on the way. I'm trying to think, maybe after All Rocks and Silver Ring you can go there?
All right, so
Oh,
Tetra
man.
Spirit opening.
Succubus
Oh,
is
Ben's getting
really
trolled.
trolling.
Yeah.
She's getting way up there. He's like, no, I can't reach you.
There
Yeah,
you go.
and then
Find
Talic
out
has no
another Tetra
problems
Spirit,
because
maybe
he
down
bought
she
the
goes.
That ring of berries.
And
the
really
two
helpful.
ring
right
or the ring of
behind
berries.
Him is Talic finishing off Succubus. And
So
just
now
a
Talic's
decent
ahead.
amount of time.
So Talic is not only ahead in
And that gives them both,
relic checks,
opening.
he's also ahead just head to head just because of his better
Pretty
item
crazy
management.
How they caught back up and they're both pretty much on.
And he
same.
also found a second ring of Ares on the way to keep.
Yeah.
That is, and bought one. Yeah, that's why he's doing so much damage.
You know,
What's
slight
Ben using to
divergence
kill
at the
stuff? Actually, I
beginning, and
don't
they
know what
just
his
rapidly
item
wrap back up.
layout is right now.
Talic skipping the save room has actually.
I have
put him
no
in the
clue
lead.
what he's using. He just has the one ring of Ares. But what weapon is he using? Did he buy a Harper
that's
as
right, he
well?
didn't.
His succubus fight went a bit better as well. That's also why he.
Harper?
brings
So
Okay.
I'd
the
imagine
save
both are
room.
going to be going down to go check Holy Symbol with the save split. Or not Holy Symbol, Merman. No, it is
Yeah.
Holy Symbol.
Dude,
No, it's Holy
water is
Symbol.
so good.
Of course, that makes sense.
It's almost like you need it to
They
live.
didn't
I love
check it, that
water.
would be just an error on their part.
I don't think these players would make that mistake.
Yeah, it looks like he's using a Harper based off the
But,
sprite.
I mean, we've seen plenty of
I love
mistakes
living
made
in
with
water
players
helps me do
being
that.
just
Am I
because of the
right?
Pure randomness of how the seed
It's
rolls
so
off.
true. Eye of Vlad. This
Alright,
also, I think,
Eye of
benefits
Vlad.
Talic because I think
3
he'll have a
grab
better
relics per
movement
castle so far.
leaving.
That is the average, and there are plenty more places for them.
Yeah,
to
this
check.
wing smash section is pretty tough to do.
4
Oh,
relics per
Talic actually
castle.
drops it. I was gonna say Talic is a cheater because he plays on
Actually, they're not.
keyboard,
They're not plenty. I think how many are there?
but I guess dropping it
He's
made
about
sense
the
because he didn't have
Yeah,
enough MP
3.
to finish it
Are
otherwise.
there 3 more?
I think Ben's gonna
Or
probably
4
drop
more
one, right?
locations for them to check?
Yeah, they got
At
one
least
going
4.
down.
No, he didn't
to
drop
get
one, never
Spike
mind.
Breaker.
That's what you get for being
They
such a
have the
cheater,
two
Talic.
in Orlok.
Using keyboard.
Yeah, 2 in all rocks.
Everybody knows
all
keyboarding
rocks,
is cheating.
And they have the.
So a secondary save split.
Yep.
I agree, especially because go back to check that Heaven Sword or Chrysogram. Heaven Sword. Okay.
Which is really
I
nice with how the
didn't
graphics
remember
are.
them using Chrysogram, so that's why I was like, that can't be Vorpal or Chrysogram.
Talic picking up that.
But he loses
alluring,
time
Heaven
on
Sword.
one part in all
I doubt
bosses.
we'll be seeing much use of that, but you know, he picked it up.
Yeah, he loses
they
time
both
in all
did.
bosses. He also
Yeah,
loses
it could've been
time
something better,
in any percent.
no,
With
this
the
is
clock
just
tower room,
bribery
there's a certain
for
strat that
everyone.
he never goes for that saves like almost a second because he can't do 2 wing smashes consecutively up to the left quickly. So grabbing that Dragon Helm was
Ooh,
kind of a
Dragon
mistake
That's a good pickup.
because he can
Deal.
just do
That
it on the
really
way
is.
back. Granted, in the
He's
heat of a
practiced
moment, you're
really
just thinking to yourself like, ooh,
advanced
Dragon Helm, I
weapons
want
with
that.
all enemies now their defenses have when it's equipped.
Yeah, you split Merman check
Neither of
in
them are equipped yet,
Randomizer here.
oddly enough.
Mostly
They're equipped?
because you don't have enough mana most of the time
No,
to
I don't
do
think
this
so.
check and then make it back.
That's 4 Vlad relics in first castle.
Okay,
Jeez,
4
what
Vlad
was that
Relics
one?
first castle, pretty strong.
Ring.
Damn, that's nuts.
So see
So
here,
we're-
Talic is running out of
we're one
MP.
away from
So if
already
you were to
having
just like
all
maneuver
the
back
relics in
by
first
yourself
castle.
without MP,
There's
you
still
lose quite a bit of
3
time.
checks to make.
Yep.
Unless you have a mana prism that you're willing to use right here, right now, I
Odds
don't
are
think that
really
mana
good
prism
here.
necessarily
This
saves
is-
a whole lot of time.
This is honestly one of the
I would
best
usually save a
maneuvers.
mana prism for second castle movement.
Yeah, this is crazy
If you have
fast.
infinite mana prisms or
We're
like
less
so
than
many
30 minutes
like
in, they're almost
mana prisms were
already done
cheap and you
first
had
castle.
money, then I don't do the save split here.
I mean,
That
we've
doesn't surprise me.
we've had sub-hour seats before, but I mean, most people are ahead in second castle in around 45-minute mark to wrap up.
You would split anything else, even boots or leap. I disagree. I wouldn't reset over leapstone or boots. Well, maybe leapstone, but not boots.
Flying back
Gravity
up
boots
this
are
waterfall
so
with
useful
that
for
boost
time
is
save. Like
kind of slow.
in the case that you have to climb
Okay.
up in the second
Hopefully
castle,
Ben makes it up there without draining all of his mana. It's kind of close.
because you grab gravity boots, your
Yeah, he's
climb
got
back up the waterfall is going to be quite a bit faster,
Activate
so
the
you don't
favorite
lose that much
switch.
time there. Climbing up
Happens
to
to
get
pick
to
up that
Alrock's
rat.
quarters to fight Alrox, you save a lot of time there, and then
Yeah,
climbing
put that down
to
now.
in the second castle through the caverns, you save time there. You might not always get to that part of the caverns, but you're always going to do Alrock's quarters, and you're going to save some time from the waterfall.
Can't imagine Cerberus putting up much of a fight, considering they're pretty well stocked on gear.
No.
I think Talic
That's
might be
gonna be
wrong
like
for
3 or
splitting
4
those
slots.
I mean, if Talic
in
gets
that
hit
particular
by 'em with the
situation.
dual,
If it was castle
Randomizer,
entrance,
then
then
that
yeah,
could
I would
work,
split
but-
there. Like castle entrance
I mean,
is
his
really,
damage
really
is
slow.
Yeah, his
Yo,
health
what's up,
is
Epic?
low, but his health is low.
What's going
but
on,
also
man?
Talic, he does not get hit often.
Until he does.
Ooh, getting mist
Alright,
here is
Power
really
of
good.
Mist. I'm
There we
sorry,
go.
Form of Mist.
So yeah, they have a backup now. Well, at least Talic does if something goes crazy and needs to recover.
Yeah, pretty much entrance
They've
you split
already
everything
seen,
movement wise because entrance is
Echo,
very, very slow.
So that is not
The
one of the as far as required relics.
the
first
other
castle,
relic, the relic that they just
they
did,
are
the
that,
merman
Mist,
statue check is
Echo,
not as slow.
and Jewel of
Merman
Opal.
statue is
Yeah, those
only like
players
maybe
are
20
gonna
seconds
be
time
doing,
loss.
Spike Room blind.
Same old, same old. How am I doing? I'm doing good.
Yeah, they have
I'm
to
finally over
do
being
it.
sick from AGDQ. AGDQ got me
Talic has to
pretty
back down.
sick.
Ben hasn't even seen it.
I'm still a
It was
little
in
like
House of Keys.
stuffed up and stuff, but that's about it. Like a little congested, but
Oh.
Talic can save
Scary
this, yeah.
situation to be in for Talic.
He's fine as long as he doesn't take too many more hits.
All right, he's got this.
Yep, there you go. I've gotten a lot better at maneuvering in the dark to make sure that I line that up, even if I get hit the first time. It's just one of those things that you just
Ben is doing a safety
practice.
save here before he does the same. Good call.
I mean, he doesn't have.
Gauntlet isn't
Power
worth
Mist,
picking
so,
up when
I
you have
mean,
2 Ring of Ares,
if
but
something happens, it's gonna be hard to recover.
it's fine. I don't mind
Have they
Talic
equipped
doing
Dragon
that.
Helm? Like they had to have gotten one before, because
I don't think so. They have Dragon Helm. Like maybe Talic.
Pick up Power Sire.
Maybe they're waiting to apply it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for Spike Breaker. Maybe.
Yeah, library
he
card.
He doesn't care.
Oh, Talic still hasn't put on Dragon Helm, probably because he knows he's gonna have to
Tom's got
equip
Lightbreaker, Ben is just
holy
finishing
glasses at some
with
point
the,
anyways. So, you know.
flying
I'm
spike
doing
breaker.
okay now though.
So
The
it's
sickness
gonna
kind of
grab
wore
that
off
Spike Breaker as well. And I imagine they're
pretty
both
quickly.
gonna
I
use
felt the
weapon turns, so-
majority of the sickness actually on the last day of AGDQ, which kind of sucked. So I didn't get to really hang out much, but
More library cards?
on the
More
final
library
day.
cards
But
is
thankfully I
nice.
got to hang out throughout the week, so that was fun.
Oh, Tearfang. You gotta have Tearfang.
I was actually timing Power of Wolf yesterday for some shenanigans for
Is
speedruns,
that a
but
serious thing?
it's 2 minutes to get it. It saves less
No.
time than I thought, even on gigantic straight lines. Yeah. Moose told me when we were routing out stuff for all bosses, all relics, like you're forced to get the Power of Wolf stuff in all bosses, all relics because it is a relic. And even then, there's only 2 places in the run that you use the Wolf Dash. 3 places. One is for a floor clip, but this is glitchless, so you know we don't care about that. He equips the Gram because it's a slightly better weapon. Okay, makes sense.
I mean, we very well could see.
But yeah, there's only 2 rooms that it makes sense to use the Wolf Dash in, and even then, like they only save like a maybe half a second at most over just wing smashing. I think the rule of thumb is if it's more than 6 wing smashes in a row, then it starts to save time,
Like it's gaining him so
and that's
much,
it.
like,
So
ground
you need to
exposure.
find
It's just seconds
always where
in these
more than
boss
6 wing
fights.
smashes in length,
Adding up.
which there aren't very many in the game.
So fire a bat.
Of our... Yeah, useless relic at this point. If anyone's not aware of our
Yeah.
of me and Talic's inside joke,
The catacombs is one of the places that we use the Power of Wolf movement in ABRSR.
because when we were having our blind Maria all bosses race, Talic totally skipped Lesser Demon. Just didn't even go to the library.
I think he wanted to make sure that he got it this time.
Yeah.
Alright, so Ben's gonna sell
He
that
goes
card, get
back
done.
to buy
Buying
another
more
library card. What else does he want to buy?
Alucard's
Mana prisms
good.
are way too expensive.
Very nice upgrade.
Maybe he's looking for a better
Hopefully
weapon.
Ben gets that drop. We'll see what he did.
Buys the
I
second
mean,
Ring of
Ben's already
Ares.
got a good sizable advantage on drops aside from the Ring of Ares.
Okay.
He's got one.
Does he, though?
He's got
Wait,
one
which
Ring of
drop did I
Ares
miss?
on his back. Oh no, he got
Chup.
a second one now.
He just bought a second.
Yeah, he just got a second one, so there he goes.
So Talic has the edge with his Alucard. Hopefully.
Which one of them got a good drop? I don't think either of them
Ben
are
gets one, too.
Alucard sword. Oh shit, he got an Alucard sword.
Fulfilling his
Oh, I
wish.
forgot he got an Alucard
Oh,
sword.
getting
That is
two
pretty
dark
big.
edges.
Ben, where are you going? Did you already do lesser? I didn't see him do
believe he
lesser.
did. If he skipped it, no. Oh, he did it already.
Oh,
Okay.
he did it already? Okay, good. I was just a little confused with the shopping. Sometimes people do shopping earlier than doing lesser. Some people
Yeah, I think that's
after.
part of the Covenant Stone?
They did
Gold
that.
Circlet. They look very similar. Covenant Stone just has like a fatter part
Ben
of the
was just
band.
freaking me out. I mean, I know he's one to play with gambles, but
Well, if he didn't.
Oh, he didn't check that katana?
That saves him time since it was just.
So if that's a normal katana, which I'm pretty sure it is. No, it's
I mean, you gotta-
Asafune.
you
So
gotta
yeah,
be on
Alucard's sword
side
doesn't
of
matter
doesn't
anymore.
even know, right?
Asafune
Like,
is
Blood Relic, for all he knows.
Yeah. if it
second
was
best
just a
katana in the
mistake, then he would
game,
just
I want to say.
time later
Yeah.
if he remembered.
Or is it the other one? Or
Got it.
I always get the names mixed up.
No, he's in the clear.
Asafune should be, regardless, it's more than enough to do damage and be fine. Yatsitsuna, I think, technically has higher DPS,
Well, I guess it really.
and he has
depends. I
no
wanna
defense
say, like,
anymore anyways.
basically,
Yatsitsuna, yeah, I think
route is
has
laid out.
technically better DPS.
However, they still.
Oh wait,
have the
Talic.
option to divert,
Wait, Talic was the one that got
these
the Alucard
two
sword?
remaining relics is not the fifth Vlad relic.
Oh wow.
The chances
I thought
that
Ben
it
was the
is
one that got the
Vlad
Alucard
relic
sword,
are
because it doesn't matter.
Very.
So
high.
yeah, now Asafune is good.
But you know, who knows? We'll see.
Yatsitsuna almost as good as Chrysogrim. Yeah, they're very, very comparable. And Yatsitsuna has the whole like glitch where you can just not have a hitbox or not have a hurt box active and like become invincible pretty much,
All right.
which is pretty good.
It is.
Yo, that's actually a really good strat. I'm gonna steal that.
Very
The
small.
Yatsitsuna special stuff
Scroll, is that it?
Yeah.
where you just
Yeah,
do
it's
the
definitely
two.
not a scroll, it's a book, but you know. We're talking about a game.
You
that's
don't
so
mash,
full of
actually. Fun
doubling.
fact, the Yatsutsuna, if you mash, you're more likely to not get the invincibility from it. You actually want to tap with a very specific rhythm. It's like an even rhythm back and forth.
All right, so the 5th Vlad relic is in second castle.
So yeah, pretty much these guys are playing like neck and neck. Not too much really like distinguishing the two. I think Talic had better movement overall, like better MP management, took better risk rewards as far as movement as well. I think he might have a better MP pool overall as well. Just like by eyeballing how much MP they lose every time they do a wing smash, I think Talic is losing less MP.
I mean, I'm surprised they're not. I'm not. We're not.
Oh,
seeing
plus
more
Ben doesn't have Power
library
of Mist,
cards
so he's losing
play
more MP every time he
with them
mists.
being so cheap.
And right here, Talic now has Silver
I think
Ring
we're
and
obviously
can
gonna
go
see one
straight
when they
to
drop Holy Glasses, but
the
I mean, we've only
the
seen
clock
them use
room,
it
where
some
Ben
other
now
times now.
has to decide whether he's going to go to the clock room or if he's going to go to Castle Keep, because he still hasn't gone to Castle Keep yet. Talic, on the other hand, can go to the library or the clock room.
So Talic already wrapping
Oh no,
back around.
they used it after or Talic used it after Solobat. Both of them used it. After
Interesting that.
Yeah, and then he used it.
Yeah, this makes sense. It makes sense the way that
It's
Talic
two
is.
times already. Maria will make it a
The movement that
third
he's doing.
one when they get Holy Glasses.
Ben doesn't have Power of Mist, so he has to make sure he has just enough MP to make it through.
Mana to get through the gate.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a pain on the way back if he doesn't already have enough mana by then.
Ben's best bet is keep either way, I think. Just for the teleporter alone, yeah.
I mean,
He
I'm
needs
not
to
sure how
go
much
and just
mana
open the
versions
teleporter
of
and
Shot
teleport
work,
to
but,
back to Alrox's
I think
quarters.
they were too
That's the
cheap
only
because
route
he
that
didn't
makes sense
find
here, and if he doesn't do it, he's kind of screwed.
Not that I'm aware of, anyways.
And he has no MP to do it with, which is very sad. Yeah, he's doing it. Talic is going to gain a lot of time here because of that. This is why going to keep early is super important. Some of the most important things for you to grab in a randomizer is, wow, 2 fucking shield drops in a row.
Ouch.
What are the odds? Some of the most important things that you want to grab is Aurochs teleporter, keep teleporter, and go to library soon, like early. That's like it. I think the clock blocks Talic. Yeah, I think Talic gets clock blocked twice in this rando race.
Yeah, that might
But he
be
still
the
wins,
play
if
for
I'm
him,
remembering
considering
correctly.
he's gonna be a fair bit
I know he
behind when
wins,
second
obviously,
castle.
but I think he gets blocked by the clock statue twice.
Is my guess.
Yeah, dude, just look at how much time Ben is bleeding, just because it's really sad too, because he didn't have to go back to Castle Entrance. It just makes no sense to go to Castle Entrance in that scenario if you're not planning on going to keep anyways. Like, you have to prioritize going to keep at some point, and doing it late is always bad. I think the other race that Talic did, it was Talic versus...
TalicZealot getting the...
was it Talic versus PC Tracks? Or was it Talic versus... It was me versus PC Tracks, I think. Yeah, it was me versus PC Tracks. And he didn't get... he didn't check Castle Keep until way late into the run, and that's where Bat was. So he didn't get Bat until like 50 minutes into the run. Which is something I wanted to time, going to Outer Wall with Wolf stuff, just for the hell of it. If you can make it to Outer Wall warp in less than a minute. Yeah, you definitely can. It's so we timed it, and if you are waiting for more than 30 seconds, it makes sense to go to the Outer Wall warp as opposed to going to the other warp. Which one am I thinking of? The going back through the clock room and going through Alrox's quarters. And the main reason for that is because right here, Talic he's going to use the Outer Wall warp to get to Castle Keep. You only have to teleport once. Versus if you use the Alrox teleporter, you have to teleport anywhere from 4 to 5 times, depending on which teleporters you open. And in most randomizers, you open like quite a few. So you save a lot of time just in the
Ben, they're just
teleport
doing a
animation.
Quick check of the in-game clock to see if... he's gonna get back out here hopefully in time to make the.
Yeah, why did
teleport.
Ben check the clock?
But
That
I'm
doesn't
not
make
sure
any
why he would
sense.
do that, considering his library card still.
It's one animation, yeah. So outer wall is really good for that sense, and that's where like
Secret
30
was hidden
seconds,
all
like because the
animation
movement
as well.
alone is more than 30 seconds, but
Yeah,
you
well,
save
it's
that
a
time
good
back
chance
up
if
off the teleport
you
animation.
know you're gonna catch the clock cycle, then going the library
Yeah,
route is slow.
library card,
May
boom.
honestly be the case. It doesn't feel like it's.
So yeah, 42 minutes to kill Shaft on Talic's screen. Let's see how long it
Not rather
takes
good
for
enough.
Ben to catch up and kill Shaft.
Definitely feels.
Probably going to be
faster
like a
than the
43-20,
clock,
43-30.
rather than having.
Yeah,
to
a
go
lot
the
of things
entire way through the
feel
library.
fast, but then when you start getting down to it and then figuring it out, I mean, sometimes the things you think
I
are
love
fast
Mash's accent, by the way. His Canadian accent is
I
just,
agree.
it's just
That's what I'm saying.
buttery smooth to my
Ben may
ears.
have
I love me
some
some
knowledge
Canadian
that we don't.
accents.
Alright, so Talic cleanly makes his way into second castle. And this is where we'll
Nice
see
heart
if,
max up Talic.
Dark
That's why
Knight
I'm like always
makes
hesitant to
big
break that pot
factor
open
in
with a
the
wing
right
smash.
decision. But I still feel like Talic's gonna go right side.
They still don't have gravity
Like,
boots
just
or
like he usually does.
they don't have gravity boots and they
I
don't
put
have
him
leap
in
stone.
the
That's so annoying.
The day he doesn't go right side is, I think, the day something crazy happens.
That was like.
If an MP refill glitched though,
two
true. That would be insane.
on Dark Knight.
Talic,
Then it
it's
would
the
have been
left
worth
side.
it.
Go to the right.
No, he's
There
just
view.
doing that to reload the room.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those room reload
Speed
strats are pretty
order.
strong.
Let's
Nice.
see
Talic
if
gets the
he
frame
uses
perfect
I always
backdash.
forget that that side doesn't have a door on it, so it's just a little quicker to get through.
Yeah.
See, oh, Ben is also doing the relic checks and item checks now. That's so bad.
Ben
Look how much
turned
time he's
the,
losing.
Castle keep there before going to Rick.
Dang. So Ben lost 2 minutes. Maybe more than 2 minutes?
Talic stopping by, refill that mana.
Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. I think MP refill glitch can't happen with a wing smash because MP needs to be ticking up. You're right.
So Ben now has.
So he's already 2 minutes behind.
I believe he already has the Rib of Lad.
He
No,
didn't
he
do
doesn't.
this. Oh, no, he
right
didn't
now.
do this relic check either. Dude, Ben did like the worst movement for these relic checks, too. That's so sad.
Alright, well, he finally has it. Got a fair bit to play catch up on.
Oh, and
I think at this point,
he's
just
checking
gotta
his
go
relics
left
right now because he
and,
doesn't have a tracker.
Talic whiffs on the relics.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Talic is a
Talic's
literal
already, like,
cheater
halfway
using an
through
auto
right side
tracker.
castle at this point. He's on the way to Akmadan.
Ben has been having mana issues for past couple minutes, unfortunately, as well. So that has not been in his favor.
Yeah, it's.
This is where a creature side gamble would tie things up. Yes, 100%.
All right, clean.
If Ben knew
Like
he
as
was 3
well.
minutes behind, 3 minutes and 10 seconds behind, he literally lost 3 minutes just because he decided not to go. I mean, some of it was movement based because Talic actually caught up even with the movement disparity. But yeah, he lost about 2 minutes to not checking keep first or keep early. He waited for keep.
Has like a ranged special.
Yeah, Alucard.
So the lesson to take away from this is you gotta check keep earlier.
Any of the katanas really
if you
have
can.
special. I think there's one that doesn't. And it's Soul of Wolf. Goes ahead and skips that one.
Oof.
So possible
If-
relic
if Ben goes
locations now
left.
is Creature, Force of Echo, Death, and Gallimon.
Even if Ben goes left, he's not actually. He might make up some time, but they might end up at creature at the same time.
So let's see what Ben does here. Let's hope he goes left.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't
He's not
left,
gonna
at this
go
point,
left.
He's just losing more and more time.
Potentially.
I don't think Ben is a gambler in that sense. I don't think he's a
If there's nothing.
a left goer.
There's really nothing that could have been done for him.
Yep.
Ah, no, Ben, why?
Oh, this hurts.
This hurts, yeah.
Out of
Keep
all
is
the
extremely
players, he's the
valuable.
one
Yep.
player we know
Tons of
that
item
needs that
checks,
kind of
3
game
relics, very
before
close to
he's
each other,
bubbling.
and a very valuable warp. That is
But what do
why
we know?
keep is just, as soon as you have flight, you want to go
Just
there.
the guy sitting on the other end watching this match, just like everybody else.
So this is pretty much a done deal at this point. Like, being 3 minutes behind in second castle is pretty much a death sentence.
I mean, in the realm of possibility, Talic isn't going to go creature. Ben does creature, like does the manly split, and then does creature, and that turns out
Doesn't
to be in his
matter.
favor. And Talic's all the way going to like death or.
I know Mash is
Galamoth,
trying to
then
sell the
that may work
match
out for him.
not being over yet, but the
But he
match
has
is
to cover
100%
quite a
over.
bit of ground to make that possible right now.
Because Talic is 3 minutes ahead, and it doesn't take more than 3 minutes to get from manly split to Galamoth. Actually, I guess technically, no, I guess,
You
yeah,
never
if
know, man.
for whatever
Maybe
reason
just-
Talic doesn't do manly split and Ben does, I think they would be even, if not slight advantage to Ben. But, you know. If I'm remembering correctly, the relic is at like death or something, so. Yeah.
Oh, he is gonna go do it.
Yep. There's manly split. Talic always does manly split.
Talic is gonna do it. He's timed it himself. He's seen the light.
He has seen the light, yeah.
So in the
Seen
worst
the
case
light after
scenario-
all of this.
In the worst case scenario, doing the manly split here loses at most 1 minute, which is great. You know.
Oh, that's another thing I can keep in mind for my race versus Talic. If I feel like I'm very close to Talic and I want a slight edge, I can skip manly split, risking the fact that the relic isn't at creature and that it's possibly at what is it? Force of Echo, Death, or Galamoth.
We don't want to see anybody get sniped by Nova Skeleton or crushed by a
Yeah,
armor
it's
knight.
a heartbreaking end to a race.
I mean, we've seen a couple good Nova Skeleton snipes that killed off players near the end, so. Alright, let's see what creature
Holy
gives
crap,
us.
my sinuses.
Good
Ugh.
fight. I mean, they're pretty decked out on damage. And it's not.
Ooh,
See, this is a scenario where skipping manly split would have
but
paid
he got
off.
that save, so he's taking that minute.
So I have 2 different mind games
So this is
that I
one
can
minute
use to my
Ben has to do, so
advantage,
he's not gonna do the manly
which
split.
is if I feel like I'm not playing at 100%, but I'm playing really
Unfortunately,
good,
you know, you can see
I
that,
can do I can skip the manly
Ben
split.
has
And if I feel like I
huge
played like
lead
absolute
over
horse shit, I can go
behind
creature
Talic.
first. So those are my
It's good. He's, you know,
my
he's using
potential
that
like
time up.
comeback scenarios
He's not
versus
gonna do
Talic.
enough
Where
unless Talic
Talic I feel like is going to play exactly the same no matter what.
1 out of
So.
3 possibility
This
for
is
Galamoth.
hilarious. They're both making these unbearable climbs with just that.
Ugh. Having no grab boots for that kind of stuff is awful.
Yeah, no grab boots
And they're
sucks.
synced up perfectly.
Oh, the other downside.
This turns out to
Wait,
be
I just
that
realized
Galamoth seed, where the last relic
holy
was
shit,
there,
never
and
mind.
one of them
Huge
gets
oversight in
favorable
the
RNG
going
damage.
left first
Who knows?
is you don't open the teleporter for reverse Aurochs quarters. So getting back to the clock room is going to be a bitch if the relic happens to be a Galamoth, and I think you'll still lose.
I love Ben zigzag.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Alright, so
Alright, second save
Talic-
I'm trying to think what you would do to
Doing the,
mitigate that
Force of
time
Echo
loss.
check.
I don't think there's anything you can do other than go out of your way just to open that teleporter, but
And it
Yeah.
is Heart of Light.
Alright.
in this
So
scenario
he's in
though,
go
Rest in
mode.
peace, Ben.
going left first
Ben
would have
is
won Ben the
tailing
race
behind.
because
We have to hope for some crazy Nova
power
Skeleton
of
snipes.
or yeah,
Power
of Echo.
They're both wearing double ring of Aries.
Force of Echo, sorry, Force of Echo check. You just drop back down,
right now,
and you don't teleport at all.
Skeleton's hit with the double ring of Aries could just straight up kill
I
them.
just go in reverse, Akmadon to Medusa to keep to warp back to clock. No, because you don't. The whole point in going left first is that you skip. You're going to 100% skip Akmadon and Medusa. You don't, because your opponent already checked Akmadon and Medusa, and if they checked it first, they auto win. That's the whole point. If Akmadon or Medusa have the relic, they auto win. So you just forfeit. Because you just insta lose. The gamble is that the relic isn't there, so you don't go there. Yeah, so you completely skip Akmadon and Medusa. So left first means you really only save time as if it's at creature or if it's at power or Force of Echo. Maybe death, because backtracking through caverns after killing death isn't that bad. Your opponent does have the advantage of having the teleporter right after death to use, because there is that teleporter right after you kill death that will take you back to the clock room. But the fact that you cut out so much movement makes it not that bad.
Why is second castle commentary always sexual?
But if it's at Galamoth, then it's like you're kind of fucked.
I can't control people's minds.
So going left first is good unless it's at Galamoth. It's a good gamble up to death, yeah. I'm trying to think how much movement. Well, because you're doing the same exact. Okay, this is using brain to analyze situation, right? The only extra movement you have to do is going from the teleporter to clock room. So if you time that, that's how much time you lose if it's at Galamoth, because you're still doing the same backtracking.
Yeah, that was a bit clench right there. All right, Talic finishes off.
But it's not like you'd get 3 minutes back on Talic from pure movement. Exactly. Yeah, there's no way that you can save 3 minutes over Talic in a race scenario on movement alone, unless I have infinite mana prisms and he doesn't for some reason. But even then, mana prisms don't save that much time. Maybe they do. I don't know. Exactly, yeah, so you might as well put your chips there. That's very true. But that's only if I feel like I'm going to lose otherwise. And then again, if it's at Akmadon or Medusa, I insta-lose. It's just, you auto-lose.
Gonna keep spamming.
Talic is fine.
Not perfect enough. Oh, I guess it's gonna be a 2-cycle.
Is it really a 2-cycle with 2 Ring of Aries and Asafune Katana? Really? That doesn't make any sense. It should be a 1-cycle. I think Talic never equipped Dragon Helm. Is that right? I think Talic never equipped Dragon Helm.
Those iframes from that sword special is just so good. Okay, he missed for safety.
You'd lose either way if it's on Medusa's side. Exactly, yeah.
And time for Talic.
55 minutes, not too bad.
1, man. That's great.
That is a good time.
Well played. Logical and statistical routing paid off.
Nice. Honestly, Ben not being that far behind. He was 3 minutes behind. And then somehow in the second castle, he saved quite a bit of time. Movement must have just been cleaner overall. Because when did Talic enter the shaft fight?
So Ben...
Very damaging.
So 53-30.
Yeah.
Okay, he missed for safety. Ben's
like 55-40. So he saved... Actually, it was only 30 seconds. He only saved about 30 seconds. But still, time saved over Talic in the second castle is still time saved.
There we go. Gaps down. Took a couple hits.
So that goes to show that Ben was only able to save 30 seconds. So saving 3 minutes might be the play if I play like absolute dog shit. Ben didn't do manly split, did he?
Oh, yeah.
Is that where the time save actually came from? Let me check.
How did Talic make that fight so much faster then, damage-wise? Because they pretty much the same loadout. One of them gets unfair.
Wait a minute. I need to know. Oh, he skipped manly split. That's why. That's the 30 seconds time save. So yeah, he even lost. So he technically lost time over Talic. Because Talic wasted the time on manly split and Ben didn't.
Lucky that was just a body hit because it's not necessarily full damage.
That is a big issue, Neo. Yes, you have no idea how behind you are, if you really are or not. So it's really how courageous you are. That's not necessarily true. Because
all right, Ben, just
I know,
Force of Echo. We know you're gonna do it.
I can make the assumption that Talic is gonna play more or less like a solid 8 out of 10 on almost any single day.
So, I mean, that's still
Very rarely does Talic's level of play drop below an 8 out of 10. So if for whatever reason I'm playing like a 5 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10 on that day, I know I can do left first and be like, okay, this is a pretty solid gamble. It's pretty cheesy, but it could work. So, all right. GG's to Talic. This is why he's still in winners, and I have to face him next in the tournament, so hopefully that goes well.